Welcome back to the deep dive. Now, if you travel the world, you know there are certain places whose true identity is just completely hidden, maybe by old headlines or just, well, global neglect.
That's right.
Today, we are trying to correct a really massive oversight. We're making a case based purely on the depth and the sheer scale of the source material we've looked at that Pakistan might just be the world's most underrated country.
It is a very bold claim, definitely.
Hmm.
But the evidence, when you dig into it, it really starts to pile up.
Right?
We're talking about a country that, most of the world hasn't truly seen or experienced. Yet it offers these landscapes that honestly rival places like Nepal or Switzerland in their majesty.
Seriously, that level.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And all of that is set against this backdrop of ancient history that, well, it predates the foundations of Western civilization itself.
So our mission today, really, it's a journey. We want to reveal Pakistan's unparalleled diversity. We'll be moving from, deep ancient history and these soaring Himalayan peaks to just incredibly vibrant culture and some really stunning geological anomalies.
Yeah, the goal is to figure out why those maybe few global travelers who do make it there,
Yeah.
why they just can't stop talking about it, why it's such an overwhelming surprise for them.
Okay, so where do we start to understand why it's so underrated?
Well, I think to really get the scale of this, you have to grasp its position first. Geographically and historically, Pakistan is a true global crossroads.
Okay.
It sits right at the nexus of Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East. Critically, it was the gateway on the ancient Silk Road.
Ah, the Silk Road connection.
Exactly. And that meant for literally millennia, it was absorbing, filtering, synthesizing all these cultural influences. It became this unique hub for art, for trade, for knowledge.
And if you need an immediate hook, something to just grab you, let's talk history that defines the region. Forget, maybe, what you learned in school about where cities started. The sources we have confirm Pakistan is the absolute heartland of the Indus Valley civilization. And we have verifiable dates going back to 3,300 BCE.
Yeah, and that date, 3300 BCE, that's not just some footnote. It demonstrably makes this civilization more than 200 years older than ancient Egypt.
Wow.
And what's really fascinating is the sophistication. Look at Mohenjo-Daro, one of the major cities back then. We see evidence of actual urban planning as early as 2500 BCE.
And we're not talking about, basic huts here, are we? Sophistication
No, not at all. We mean real civil engineering. Things like public baths, standardized weights and measures, and get this, the world's first known urban sanitation systems.
Sanitation systems in 2500 BCE.
Yes. Think about cities with actual sewage systems running under grid-patterned streets. This is happening before the pyramids in Egypt were even fully built. It wasn't just ancient. It was incredibly advanced for its time.
That level of early organization, it tells you something really profound, doesn't it, about how society started forming in this region. It wasn't just fertile land. It was where complex urban life arguably began.
Precisely. It was a birthplace of sophisticated living.
And is that heritage, that sort of artistry and vibrancy, is it still visible today?
Oh, absolutely. You just have to know about the tradition of truck art. It's amazing.
Art. Okay, tell me more.
It's this dynamic, living, cultural thing. Everyday vehicles, trucks, buses, even rickshaws, they get transformed into these, well, astonishingly colorful moving canvases.
So, painted trucks.
Way beyond just paint. They're covered in bold patterns, really intricate floral designs, sometimes animal motifs, and often meaningful poetry or calligraphy. These aren't just trucks doing logistics, they're rolling pieces of folk art. They literally carry the heart and soul of the nation's highways.
That's incredible. A moving art gallery.
Okay, so let's deepen that historical view a bit. If we trace the timeline forward from the Indus Valley people, who were centered along the massive Indus River.
Which is still the lifeline today, right?
Absolutely, one of Asia's longest rivers,
Yeah.
still nurturing communities. So moving forward from them, you see these layers upon layers of conquest, different empires, cultural integration, and that really explains the country's unique identity today.
So what comes after the Indus Valley fades?
Well, stacked on that foundation, you get a really profound Buddhist influence. A key site the sources highlight is the 1st century Takhti Bahi Buddhist monastery.
Takhti Bahi.
Yes, it's exceptionally well preserved, a relic from the ancient Gandhara civilization. And it's built really dramatically on this scenic hilltop in what's now Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province.
Gandhara. That name rings a bell. What's significant about Gandhara?
Okay, so Gandhara is where the historical complexity really shines. We need to pause here. Gandhara was this ancient kingdom, and it became the crucible, really, for the fusion of Eastern and Western art styles. This happened after Alexander the Great's campaigns came through the region.
Alexander the Great, so Greek influence.
Exactly. At Takibahi, you see ancient Buddhist art, but look closely, and you can clearly see Hellenistic influences. The way the robes flow on the statues, the facial features. It's Greek style meeting Buddhist iconography. It's a physical embodiment of that global crossroads idea we talked about.
Wow. Okay, but history isn't just ruins, you said. Is it still active?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Take the Kira salt mine in Punjab. This isn't a museum piece. It's one of the world's oldest operational salt mines.
Operational, still mining today.
Still mining today.
Yeah.
It's been producing that famous pink Himalayan salt continuously for over 2,000 years. It's an unbelievable example of, like, living history embedded right in the economy.
2,000 years of salt mining. That's mind-boggling.
The history goes way back. There's a great anecdote, probably legendary, but they say the mine was discovered when Alexander the Great's horses started licking the rocks after a battle.
His horses found the salt.
That's the story. Imagine the sheer weight of history in those pink salt seams.
Okay, let's talk scale then, because some of these sites, the numbers are just hard to picture without some comparison. You mentioned something about Makli Acropolis.
Yes, Makli Acropolis in Sindh province. This is truly one of those, wait, what, moments when you first hear about it.
Okay.
Makli is not just large, it's globally massive. It's officially recognized as the largest cemetery in the world.
The largest. Bigger than?
Okay, here's the comparison our sources emphasize, and it's stunning. Makli is more than 10 times larger than the Giza Acropolis in Egypt.
10 times bigger than Giza. How is that even possible? Why so enormous?
Well, the sheer size reflects this continuous, incredibly rich historical and spiritual heritage. It dates back mainly to the 14th century, but was used for centuries after that. It became the final resting place for generations of Sufi saints, kings, queens, governors from various ruling dynasties in the Sindh region.
So centuries of burials from powerful people.
Exactly. And the site itself is this vast architectural complex. You see intricate stone carvings, vibrant glazed tile work, monumental mausoleums. It suggests incredible wealth and sustained political power centered in that region during the medieval period. It speaks to a level of cultural reverence and continuity that's just staggering.
From ancient power to modern identity. Pakistan's foundation as the world's first Islamic republic is obviously crucial, and it's home to the second largest Muslim population globally, right?
That's correct. And that modern identity, it's often reflected in these acts of collective pride and unity.
Like what?
Well, the sources point out a pretty remarkable Guinness World Record. Pakistan holds the record for assembling the world's largest human flag.
A human flag, people making a flag shape.
Thousands and thousands of people. Yeah, a massive coordinated effort. It was a very tangible way to celebrate national unity and that shared spirit.
You know, what strikes me is the thread connecting everything. From Mohenjo-Daro's planned city in 3300 BCE to today's republic, it all seems linked by that Indus River.
Absolutely. It's the lifeline. It runs from the glaciers way up in the remote north, all the way down thousands of kilometers to the Arabian Sea in the south. It connects practically all these historical sites.
So to really appreciate the source of that river, the source of that civilization, we have to head north, right? Follow back to the mountains.
Exactly. Up into the giants. And that geographical journey takes us into a landscape that is just dramatically different. We're heading into what people rightly call the roof of the world. Gilgit Baltistan.
Roof of the world, okay.
It's this almost mythical place where three of the world's greatest mountain ranges, the Himalayas, the Karakoram, and the Hindu Kush, all violently collide.
Collide is the right word.
Oh, yeah. The geology is just immense. And the landscape doesn't just converge. It absolutely erupts upwards. This region is the ultimate challenge destination, the secret that every serious mountaineer knows about.
How challenging are we talking?
The numbers are staggering. Our sources state that this relatively small region boasts over 100 distinct mountains, standing above the daunting height of 7,000 meters.
Over 100 peaks above 7,000 meters. That concentration is insane.
It is. And nestled among them, the king of the region is K2.
K2, second highest in the world.
Second highest, yes, at 8,611 meters. But its mystique, its sheer difficulty, it arguably outweighs its ranking. It's often considered more demanding technically and certainly more dangerous than Mount Everest.
More demanding than Everest, why?
Well, Everest is, relatively speaking, more accessible now. It's been somewhat commercialized. K2, though, known for its incredibly steep slopes, its notoriously unpredictable and savage weather, and a very high fatality rate. It remains the ultimate untamed peak. It's a genuine Best kept secret for only the most skilled and dedicated adventurers.
The concentration of just sheer scale here sounds globally unique.
It really is. The Karakoram Range alone, just one of the 3 ranges meeting here, is the only place on Earth that holds 5 of the world's 14 tallest mountains. All those legendary 8,000ers.
5 of the 14 in one range.
Yes. And if you look at peaks over 7,000 meters, the Karakorams hold the greatest concentration of those anywhere on the planet. It's just this vast, icy expanse of geological titans.
All that ice. Those glaciers must be huge.
Absolutely massive. And that icy expanse leads us directly to something called the Karakoram anomaly. This is a really crucial piece of geological defiance that defines the region's importance.
The Karakoram anomaly. What's anomalous?
Okay, so this area shelters these vast, vital glaciers. Names like Batura, Baltoro are famous. They are the primary feeder sources for the mighty Indus River downstream. They're essential for the water security of millions and millions of people in Pakistan and beyond.
Right, water source. But what's the anomaly part?
The crucial detail is this. Unlike so many glaciers across the Himalayas and, frankly, around the world, which are rapidly retreating due to climate change, many glaciers here in the Karakoram region are either stable or, in some documented cases, actually advancing, growing.
Glaciers are growing in this climate.
It's a rare phenomenon. Scientists think it's driven by very specific, localized climatic conditions. It's a combination of the extreme high altitude, very low summer temperatures, even at melt season, and these unique winter storm tracks that deliver extremely heavy snowfall, but mainly concentrated at those highest elevations. This geological resilience, this anomaly, is literally a lifeline for Pakistan.
That connection between the raw nature and human survival is just incredibly powerful. And threading through all this dramatic, challenging landscape, there's a road, isn't there? The Karakoram Highway.
Ah, the KKH, yes.
Yeah.
Threading through it all is one of the most remarkable feats of modern engineering on the planet. It's a 1,300-kilometer road, often deservedly dubbed the 8th wonder of the world.
An engineering masterpiece, they call it.
It truly is. It's also known as the Friendship Highway because it was this monumental joint project between Pakistan and China. It took over 2 decades to build. They literally had to carve it into the sheer rock face of the world's highest mountains. And interestingly, they deliberately tried to follow some of the ancient Silk Road roads through the passes.
Carving into the highest mountains, I imagine that came at a significant human cost.
Immense.
Right.
We absolutely have to pause and reflect on that. The construction claimed the lives of over 800 workers, possibly more, mostly Pakistanis and Chinese laborers. They died from rock falls, dynamite accidents, the sheer difficulty and danger of the high-altitude terrain. It's a monument built on incredible dedication, bravery, and sacrifice.
Over 800 lives? That's sobering.
It really is. And the pinnacle of this incredible highway, literally and figuratively, is the Karakoram Pass.
The highest point.
The highest point. Standing at a breathtaking 4,693 meters, that's over 15,000 feet, it holds the official title of the world's highest paved international border crossing.
Highest paved border. Wow. And it connects Pakistan and China up there.
Yes. But it's not just an artery for trade and trucks. It's also an artery for nature.
How so?
Well, that pass is the gateway into the vast Karakoram National Park. It's a huge protected area dedicated to conserving the unique high-altitude ecosystem. Up here, the landscape is the domain of some incredibly elusive and beautiful creatures, like the legendary snow leopard, the majestic Marco Polo sheep with those enormous curling horns, and the very agile Himalayan ibex. They all thrive in the shadows of these giant peaks, protected really only by the sheer remoteness and difficulty of the terrain.
Okay, so following this legendary KKH, this highway, where does it lead you next within Gilgit-Baltistan?
It takes you deeper into this stunning geography, right, to what many call the crown jewel of the region, the Hunza Valley.
Hunza, I've definitely heard of Hunza, often called Shangri-La, right?
Exactly. If there's a real Shangri-La on Earth, Hunza's probably the top contender. It's often described as a true paradise. Historically, it was a crucial stop on the Silk Road, too, a place where exhausted traders could rest and recuperate amidst its absolutely spectacular landscapes.
What does it look like?
The visual impact is just overwhelming. You have these meticulously terraced fields bursting with apricot blossoms in the spring, clinging to the valley sides, and all of it framed by these massive, snow-covered mountain walls towering thousands of meters above.
Sounds idyllic. And the culture there?
Equally deep and fascinating. In Karimabad, the main town, you find the 700-year-old Balted Fort. It showcases this unique architectural style that blends influences from neighboring Tibet with local Balti traditions. And nearby is Alted Fort, even older, standing for over 900 years, a testament to the incredible continuity of life in this valley.
Wow, 900 years. But the most famous thing about Hunza, it's the people, isn't it? Their longevity.
Ah, yes. The famous Hunza longevity. They are celebrated globally for their extraordinary lifespan, with many residents reportedly living well beyond 100 years old and staying active too. It's a longevity secret that researchers have been trying to pin down for decades.
So what's the secret? Did the sources give any clues?
Well, there's no single magic bullet, obviously, but the sources consistently attribute their remarkable health and longevity to a combination of factors, a kind of holistic lifestyle. Four key things usually come up.
Okay, what are they?
First, the water. They drink mineral-rich glacial meltwater straight from the mountains, supposedly full of beneficial trace elements. Second, their diet. It's heavily reliant on apricots, fresh, dried, the oil from the kernels, which are incredibly nutrient-dense.
Apricots and glacial water. Sounds healthy. What else?
Third, an intensely active lifestyle. Just living and farming in that mountainous terrain requires constant physical exertion. And finally, the environment itself, very clean air, a generally serene, relatively low-stress way of life compared to modern urban settings. It seems to minimize environmental wear and tear on the body.
Makes sense, a combination of things. Now, moving through the valley, you mentioned the KKH goes through there. Is there anything else significant along that route?
Yes, further along the valley floor, you encounter this really striking reminder that this incredible natural beauty often emerges from, well, destructive power. You see Atabad Lake.
Atabad Lake, wasn't that formed recently by a disaster?
Exactly. It was formed very recently, in 2010. A truly cataclysmic landslide, absolutely massive, came down and completely blocked the Hunza River. Tragically, it submerged several villages upstream, and it cut off the KKH, the main artery, for many months.
That must have been devastating for the local communities.
Incredibly so. Yet today, less than 15 years later, the scars have somehow transformed into this haunting, striking beauty. The lake that formed is this vivid, almost unnatural turquoise color, stretching 21 kilometers long, framed dramatically by the sheer cliffs where the landslide occurred.
So what's its role now?
Well, while it was born from tragedy, it's now become an absolutely vital economic and cultural hub in its own way. It drives local tourism, you see people boating, jet skiing on it, but most critically, it serves as an essential transportation link. Since the original KKH is submerged there, goods and people have to be ferried across its length to continue their journey. It's adapted.
Nature adapts and people adapt. Amazing. What other natural features stand out along the highway?
Further down the KKH, the natural architecture continues to just astound. You have the incredible Passu cones.
Passu cone.
Yeah, they're often nicknamed the cathedral spires. They are these incredibly jagged, needle-like rock peaks, sculpted dramatically by millennia of wind and glacial forces that look almost unreal.
Wreck climbed.
Most remain largely unclimbed, which adds this mysterious, almost mythical quality to them. They're particularly stunning when they catch the low light of sunrise or sunset. They just glow brilliantly gold against the sky.
Sounds breathtaking. And nearby, isn't there that famous bridge? The dangerous one?
Yes. Right nearby, offering a very different kind of thrill or terror, depending on your perspective, is the notorious Husseini Suspension Bridge.
Okay, how bad is it really? Has it earned its reputation?
Oh, it definitely has. It's frequently dubbed one of the world's most dangerous bridges, and for good reason. You're looking at widely spaced wooden planks, many often missing or broken, swinging quite precariously high above the rushing Hunza River below. The wind whips through there, too.
Sounds terrifying. Is it just for tourists looking for a thrill?
That's the crucial point, no. While tourists do test their nerve on it, it's absolutely essential to remember this is far more than just an adventure gimmick. For the local people living in the remote communities on the other side of the river, this rickety bridge is a non-negotiable critical piece of daily infrastructure. It connects them to schools, markets, everything. It really demonstrates the resilience and, frankly, the bravery of the mountain people.
That puts it in perspective. Okay, so resilience seems key here. Where does that take us next?
Well, that kind of resilience and maybe a strong stomach is definitely needed for the next leg of the journey for many adventurers. This often involves transitioning from the KKH to a, shall we say, heart-pounding jeep ride along incredibly narrow, winding mountain tracks.
A jeep ride? Where to?
These tracks lead up to a spectacular, almost ethereal, serene, high-altitude plateau known as Fairy Meadows.
Fairy Meadows. That name sounds magical.
It is, and it sits right beneath the absolutely colossal, dominating north face of Nanga Parbat Mountain.
Nanga Parbat. Another giant. And the name Fairy Meadows.
Local folklore, as you might guess, claims these beautiful meadows are literally inhabited by fairies. And honestly, standing there, gazing across the expansive green grassland directly towards that enormous, terrifyingly beautiful peak, it's pretty easy to understand why those myths persist. It feels otherworldly.
What can you do from Fairy Meadows?
The trail from the meadows leads the truly adventurous onwards, towards the vast, crevassed expanse of the Ryko Glacier. And if you traverse that challenging ice and stone, you eventually reach the base camp of Nanga Parbat itself. This is the infamous Killer Mountain.
Killer Mountain. Why that name?
It's known throughout mountaineering history and lore for its incredibly treacherous ice field, its sheer scale, its notoriously unpredictable storms, and tragically, a very high death toll for climbers over the decades. It's considered one of the most formidable and dangerous challenges on Earth. Standing at its base is perhaps the most visceral encounter you can have with nature's raw, untamed, and frankly, deadly power.
Wow. From serene meadows to the Killer Mountain, the contrasts are stark.
They really are. And our exploration of these contrasts continues as we move eastward towards the Skardu region, still in Gilgit-Baltistan. Here, the landscape presents yet another geological paradox.
A paradox? How?
Well, on one hand, you have the winding Indus River, which nurtures these unexpectedly fertile areas. You see fields of golden barley, rich apricot orchards, villages nestled along its banks. But then, just beyond these fertile strips, the scenery transitions into something utterly unexpected at this altitude. The cold deserts.
Cold deserts, like sand dunes, but cold.
Exactly. We're talking about the Katpana Desert and the Shigar Desert. They're defined not just by their dryness, their aridity, but critically by their high altitude over 2,200 meters, that's over 7,000 feet, and the extremely low temperatures they experience, especially during the long, harsh winters.
So high-altitude sand dunes.
Yes, they are among the world's highest deserts. And the visual is stunning. You have these spectacular rolling golden sand dunes, just like you'd imagine in the Sahara, but they sit right next to massive glaciers and towering snow-capped Karakoram peaks. This dramatic juxtaposition of desert and ice is virtually unique on the planet.
Were these deserts just empty spaces?
No, not historically. They actually served as vital trade corridors for centuries. You have to imagine the footsteps of ancient merchants and caravans crossing these sands. It was along routes like these that the unique culture of the Balti people flourished.
The Balti people?
Yes, a distinct mountain people whose culture is deeply rooted in surviving and thriving in this high-altitude, arid environment. They developed incredible techniques of irrigation, using glacial meltwater and seasonal migration patterns to make a life where few others could.
Amazing adaptation. Does Skardu offer gentler landscapes too?
Oh, yes. Skardu also holds serene beauty, especially in its lakes. There's Kachura Lake, for example, nestled peacefully at around 2,500 meters. It actually has two parts.
Two parts.
Yeah, Lower Kachura Lake is probably more famous because it's home to the iconic Shangri-La Resort. And they deliberately chose that name, referencing the mythical paradise from the novel Lost Horizon, trying to evoke that sense of luxury and natural harmony.
Shangri-La Resort. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other part?
Upper Kachura Lake is less developed, more remote. It offers a more secluded, rugged retreat. It's ideal for things like trekking, fishing, even swimming if you can brave the cool, pristine waters.
And overlooking all of this, any historical sites?
Absolutely. Watching over the valley and the confluence of rivers is Skardu Fort, also known as Karpocho Fort, which means King of Forts. It's a strategic stronghold, parts of which might date back centuries, but mainly built up in the 16th century to defend the Kingdom of Baltistan. Climbing up there today gives you truly awe-inspiring panoramic views of the entire Skardu Valley, the Indus River, and the surrounding peaks. So we reach a kind of grand geographical finale for the northern areas with Deosai National Park. Its name is famously translated as the Land of Giants.
Land of Giants. Wow.
It refers to the sheer scale and emptiness, perhaps. Deosai is this breathtaking high-altitude plateau. It's one of the largest and highest plateaus on Earth. Stretching over 3,000 square kilometers, it's huge, and sitting at an astounding average altitude of 4,000 meters, or about 13,000 feet.
That high and that large. What's it like up there?
It's vast, rolling, often covered in wildflowers in the short summer season, and it's critically important for conservation.
Conservation? For what?
The park was specifically established back in 1993 to create a sanctuary for the highly endangered Himalayan brown bear. Deosai provides one of its last significant natural habitats anywhere in the region, so it's a vital biodiversity hotspot. You also find populations of golden marmots up there, and it's an important stopover for various migratory birds.
A refuge for the brown bear. And any special features within the park?
At its heart, you find Shiozar Lake. It's this incredibly beautiful, high-altitude lake. On calm days, its tranquil, crystalline surface acts like a perfect mirror, reflecting the distant, massive peak of Nanga Parbat, giving the whole area this really ethereal, almost unreal beauty.
Sounds magical. Land of giants, mirroring mountains.
And the sources mention that Deosai is deeply steeped in local folklore, too, with tales concerning giants and spirits that are said to roam the plateau, adding another layer of mystery to its raw, vast, untouched wilderness.
Before we head south completely, is there anything else in the northern regions worth mentioning? Maybe something a bit different?
Yes, absolutely. We should briefly touch upon Azad Jammu and Kashmir, or AJK. This region, also sometimes lovingly called Paradise on Earth by locals, offers a slightly different feel. It has a softer, maybe more gentle, tranquil charm compared to the stark, rugged, icy wilderness of Gilgit-Baltistan. It's more about lush green valleys and sparkling rivers.
So greener, less extreme.
Generally, yes. The Neelam Valley is considered the jewel of Azad Kashmir. It's defined by the stunning turquoise Neelam River winding through intense greenery, forests, and meadows. Here you can find ancient ruins, too, like those at Sharda, whispering forgotten stories, and glacial lakes like Riali Lake, cradled by dramatic cliffs.
Sounds beautiful. Any specific valleys known for their culture?
Well, there's the Lipa Valley, perched up at around 1,829 meters. It's particularly noted for its peaceful pace of life, its charming, traditional Kashmiri wooden houses, often intricately carved and designed to withstand heavy winter snowfall, and the genuine warmth and hospitality of the villagers, whose lives still maintain a rhythm deeply connected to the seasons and the surrounding nature.
Okay, so after all this high-altitude grandeur, these towering peaks, these remote valleys, where does our journey take us next?
Now we make a dramatic shift. We head south, traveling down from the mountains, crossing hundreds, even thousands of kilometers, down onto the plains and into the rich, fertile soil of Punjab.
Punjab, the heartland.
Absolutely. Punjab is the true cultural, agricultural, and demographic heart of Pakistan. While the north dazzles with that raw, high-altitude majesty, Punjab enchants in a different way, with its vast, fertile plains fed by the Indus and its tributaries, its incredibly deep historical roots reaching back millennia, and this unbelievably rich, vibrant cultural tapestry. It's a huge contrast to the rugged north.
And the center of that culture is Lahore, isn't it?
Lahore is the undisputed cradle of that cultural heritage. This city is truly ancient. It's one of South Asia's oldest continuously inhabited cities, boasting over 2,000 years of documented history, probably much more.
2,000 years.
And through that time, Lahore has been this incredible synthesis. It embodies layers of ancient civilizations, the unparalleled splendor of the Mughal Empire, a profound Sikh heritage, and then later, layers of British colonial charm. Historically, it's been the epicenter for art, poetry, philosophy, and classical music for the entire subcontinent.
Wow. What are the must-see spiritual sites there?
Well, Lahore really functions as the spiritual core of the Plains region. We absolutely have to mention Data Darbar. It's the largest Sufi shrine in all of South Asia.
Sufi shrine.
Yes, and its sheer size and the devotion it attracts reflect Lahore's deeply ingrained spirit of religious tolerance and inclusivity. It draws pilgrims and visitors of all faiths and backgrounds, emphasizing the city's historic role as a place of reverence and spiritual seeking.
And what about more national symbols?
Right near the old city, the colossal Minar-e-Pakistan stands tall in a large park. This is a critical national monument. It commemorates the spot where the historic 1940 Lahore Resolution was passed, which formally called for the creation of Pakistan and paved the way for independence 7 years later.
So, historically very significant. What about its design?
Architecturally, it's interesting too. It harmoniously blends traditional Mughal and Islamic motifs with modern design elements, symbolizing that convergence of Pakistan's rich past and its political present.
Lahore is famous for Mughal architecture, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. The city's historic center, the walled city, is a feast for the eyes, especially for architecture lovers. The Lahore Fort, or Shahi Qila, is unmissable. It's a massive UNESCO World Heritage Site, the former seat of Mughal power for centuries.
And inside the fort?
Inside, amongst many other structures, you find the breathtaking Sheesh Mahal, the Palace of Mirrors. It's famous for its incredibly intricate pietra dura, stone inlay work, and complex mirror mosaics, tiny pieces of convex mirrors set in plaster that create this mesmerizing, sparkling dance of light from even a single candle. It's just stunning.
Palace of Mirrors. Sounds amazing. And the big mosque nearby?
Yes, just steps away from the fort's main gate, the Badshahi Mosque completely dominates the skyline. This is one of the largest mosques in the world, commissioned by the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb in the 17th century. It's enormous scale, built mainly from red sandstone with white marble domes, is just breathtaking. It's a powerful symbol of Lahore's enduring spiritual legacy and the sheer majesty of Mughal imperial design.
Moving away from Lahore, what about the capital, Islamabad? Any architectural highlights there?
Yes, Islamabad, being a planned modern capital, has a very different feel, but it boasts a truly striking piece of modern Islamic architecture, the Faisal Mosque.
Faisal Mosque, what's special about its design?
Well, it was designed by a Turkish architect, Vedat Daloke, and it's structurally remarkable because it deliberately avoids traditional domes and arches. Instead, its main prayer hall takes inspiration from the clean, sloping geometric lines of a Bedouin desert tent. It's very unique, set against the backdrop of the Margalla Hills.
A mosque shaped like a tent, how big is it?
It's truly massive. Across its main hall, porticos, and courtyard, it can accommodate well over 100,000 worshippers at once. It was actually a gift to Pakistan from King Faisal of Saudi Arabia, hence the name. And for a while, from its completion in 1986 until 1993, it held the title of the world's largest mosque by capacity. It really showcases a commitment to modern Islamic design on a global scale.
It's important to remember, though, that Pakistan's heritage isn't solely Islamic, right? You mentioned other influences.
Absolutely vital to reinforce that. The land has seen millennia of diverse spiritual traditions. For example, near the town of Chakwal in Punjab, you find the Katasraj Temples complex.
Katasraj, Hindu temples.
Yes. This complex is a 1,500-year-old testament to the region's incredibly deep and diverse spiritual past. The surviving temples primarily showcase the highly distinct architecture of the Hindu Shahi dynasty, which flourished in this region from around the 7th to the 10th century CE.
What's the focal point of the complex?
At the center is a sacred and mystical pond, the Kadas Kund. It's a site of immense importance in Hindu tradition. Local legends hold that this pond was formed from the tears shed by Lord Shiva mourning the death of his wife Parvati. Because of this connection, it draws thousands of Hindu pilgrims, especially during the annual Shivratri festival.
Fascinating legend, Shiva's tears.
And intriguingly, archaeological work at the site suggests that even before the Hindu Shahi era, this very location was also a significant Buddhist center, possibly with stupas. So it really proves the area's continuous, layered, multi-faith heritage over centuries, a true historical and spiritual intersection.
Further south in Punjab, are there other important historical cities?
Yes, definitely. You enter cities like Multan, which is renowned as the City of Saints. It's famous for its intensely vibrant Sufi culture and history.
City of Saints? Any specific landmarks?
Its most striking landmark is undoubtedly the magnificent 14th century tomb of the Sufi saint Hazrat Shah Rukni Alam. It's celebrated for its unique octagonal structure, its enormous dome, which is one of the largest in the region, and especially its stunning blue and white glazed tile work, known as Kashikari. It stands as a major regional spiritual center, attracting devotees constantly.
And nearby?
Nearby, you have Ukh Sharif. Now, Ukh Sharif is incredibly ancient, ranking as one of South Asia's oldest continuously inhabited cities, with roots possibly going back to Alexander the Great's time or even earlier.
Another ancient city. What's notable there?
Architecturally, it features several important tombs, but perhaps the most famous is the tomb of Bibi Jawindi, dating back to the 15th century. Like the tomb in Multan, it's renowned for its exquisite tile work, showcasing clear Persian and Central Asian artistic influences. Seeing the weathered blue and white tiles set against the arid landscape really echoes these glorious tales of a time when Uash was a key intellectual and religious hub on the subcontinent.
Okay, so as we transition now towards the rugged southern provinces like Sindh and Balochistan, let's start with something modern again, a piece of engineering overcoming geography.
Good idea. Let's look at the Fort Monroe Steel Bridge. This isn't ancient, but it's incredibly impressive. It's nestled deep within the unforgiving terrain of the Suleiman mountain range, which separates Punjab from Balochistan.
Fort Monroe. What's special about this bridge?
It's an absolute feat of modern engineering in a very challenging environment. It's often recognized as the second largest steel bridge complex in Asia. It spans a total length of about 1.5 kilometers, but it does so through a series of 8 interconnected steel girder bridges.
8 bridges linked together. Why so complex?
Because the terrain is incredibly difficult, dramatic, unstable cliffs, deep gorges prone to flash floods. This bridge system was the centerpiece of an ambitious project called the Rocky Project, designed specifically to create a safe, all-weather route through this treacherous mountain pass.
So its significance is mainly about connectivity.
Hugely significant. Before this project, The route between South Punjab and the vast, remote province of Balochistan was perilous, often impassable, especially in bad weather. This bridge complex dramatically simplifies travel and transport. It essentially turned a dangerous, multi-day, bone-jarring journey into a modern, efficient road trip, fundamentally transforming regional connectivity and economic potential.
Amazing what modern engineering can do. Okay, leaving the mountains behind now, what landscape dominates further south?
We enter the vast, sandy expanse of the Khalistan Desert, known locally as Rohi. This is a huge stretch of arid, golden land spanning around 26,000 square kilometers, mainly in southern Punjab, bordering Sindh and India.
A desert. It's just empty?
Far from it. Although it's arid, it's not barren of history. The Khalistan carries clear traces of ancient nomadic life and, importantly, old trade routes that likely link the sophisticated Indus Valley civilization further west with regions stretching towards the Middle East. Water sources were key.
Any major landmarks in the desert?
Oh, yes. Rising majestically, almost surreally, from the shifting dunes is the massive Dirawar Fort.
Dirawar Fort. Another fort.
But this one is visually stunning in the desert setting. It's this magnificent square structure with 40 enormous semicircular bastions, some towering up to 30 meters high. It has commanded this desert horizon since its original construction, likely in the 9th century, by a Rajput ruler.
What was its purpose way out there?
It was built with the singular strategic purpose of guarding those critical desert trade routes and the precious water sources along them. Control the fort, control the passage through the desert.
How did they sustain a garrison out there? Water must have been scarce.
Exactly. And the historical engineering here is ingenious. The sources highlight sophisticated systems built within and around the fort for harvesting rainwater and storing it in massive underground cisterns. There are also stories of tunnels. These were absolutely essential for supporting the large garrison needed to maintain control in such a challenging, arid environment.
Clever. Anything else near the fort?
Right next to it stands the elegant 18th century Dirawar Mosque. It was built by the Nawabs of Bahawalpur, who later controlled the fort. It provides a graceful, beautiful counterpoint to the fort's military might, supposedly inspired by the style of Delhi's Grand Jama Masjid, with its white marble domes shining in the desert sun.
Moving south into Sindh province now. Are there more fortresses? I heard about a really big one.
Ah, yes. The south holds another massive fortress, and this one is shrouded in mystery. Raniko Fort. It's often referred to quite dramatically as the Great Wall of Sindh.
Why?
Because it is absolutely colossal. Truly one of the largest fort complexes in the world by circumference. Its massive stone walls enclose an unbelievable area nearly 32 kilometers, or about 20 miles of rugged, hilly terrain within the Kurthar Hills.
32 kilometers of walls. That's huge. Roughly the size of a major city's perimeter.
Exactly. It's significantly larger than many famous historical fortifications in Europe or elsewhere. And its origins, well, they remain shrouded in debate among historians.
What's the mystery?
We know it was likely constructed in its current form mainly in the 17th century and then significantly reconstructed by the Talpur rulers of Sindh in the early 19th century. But its original purpose and perhaps earlier foundations are unclear. Was it purely a military stronghold? A massive inland trading hub meant to control routes from the hills to the Indus? Or maybe even some kind of vast, secretive royal retreat or hunting ground? No one knows for sure.
So its true story is lost?
Largely. Legends persist, of course, about hidden tunnels connecting different parts of the fort, even rumors of undiscovered treasures within its vast expanse. It all adds this profound layer of historical mystique to this enormous, somewhat forgotten structure sitting out there in the hills.
Okay, from Sindh, let's move west into the final province. Balochistan. What's it like?
Finally, yes, we turn to Balochistan. This is Pakistan's largest province by area, covering almost half the country's landmass. It's also the most sparsely populated, most geologically complex, and arguably the most rugged province. It's truly a land of stark, striking contrasts.
Contrasts like what?
You have everything from a vast, arid coastline stretching for hundreds of kilometers along the Arabian Sea to expansive inland deserts, and then dramatic, towering mountain ranges rising abruptly from the plains.
Where do we start exploring Balochistan? Maybe the coast?
Good place to start. Along the Arabian Sea coast, you have Gwadar. Historically, it was a small, relatively isolated fishing town, but now it's rapidly transforming into a major hub of modern development, primarily because of the construction of its strategic deepwater port, which is a key part of larger regional economic initiatives.
And from Gwadar, is the coastline accessible?
Yes, definitely. From Gwadar, you can embark on a drive along the Makran Coastal Highway. This itself is a 650-kilometer engineering marvel, completed relatively recently. It carves its way along the coast, often hugging dramatic cliffs that plunge down to the sea, and provides access to stunning, often completely untouched beaches and unique rock formations along the way.
Sounds like a scenic drive. Where does it lead?
Well, that highway provides access to what is arguably the crown jewel of Balochistan's natural wonders, Hingle National Park.
Hingle National Park. You mentioned it connects coast and desert.
Exactly. This is Pakistan's largest national park, spanning a massive area of over 6,000 square kilometers. And its landscape is this stunning, diverse blend. It includes coastal mangrove areas, arid plains, dramatic river valleys cutting through the mountains, and unique geological features.
Unique features like what? Iconic landmarks.
Oh, yes. Hingle is home to some truly iconic, almost surreal natural landmarks. The most famous is probably the Princess of Hope.
Princess of Hope. What is it?
It's this striking, immense natural rock formation, standing tall against the skyline. Over centuries, wind and rain erosion have sculpted it into a shape that bears this uncanny resemblance to a tall, robed figure wearing a crown, gazing out towards the horizon. It's quite moving.
Wow. Nature as a sculptor? Anything else?
And perhaps even more geologically fascinating, Hingle is home to the Chandragupta mud volcanoes. These are among the largest active mud volcanoes in the world.
Mud volcanoes. They erupt mud.
Yes. Instead of lava, they bubble and spew out thick, mineral-rich mud and gas from deep within the earth. They're not just a geological wonder, though. They also hold profound spiritual importance, particularly for Hindu pilgrims.
Why are they important to Hindu pilgrims?
Because they are a key site visited by pilgrims traveling to the ancient, highly revered Hinglaj Mata Temple, which is located deep within a cave in a remote part of Hingle National Park. The mud volcanoes are seen as a sacred stop on this ancient pilgrimage route.
So Hingle combines geology, nature, and ancient spirituality.
Perfectly put. It offers this raw, unfiltered glimpse into the rugged, diverse splendor of Pakistan, where nature's raw power, its intricate designs, and deep-seated spiritual history all come together in one vast, protected landscape. So we try to synthesize this whole journey. What we've seen is that Pakistan is fundamentally a land defined by, well, radical extremes and just profound layers of history.
Yeah, it feels like we've jumped across millennia and landscapes.
Exactly. We've traveled from the 5,000-year-old urban sophistication of the Indus Valley, whose cities actually predate ancient Egypt, all the way up to the modern geological defiance of the Karakoram anomaly, where those vital glaciers are resisting global warming trends.
And then down to the plains.
Right, down to Lahore's millennia-old spiritual and cultural vibrancy, pulsing in the heart of Punjab, and then further south again to the raw, almost alien geological wonders of Hingle National Park on the southern coast. It's an incredible spectrum.
It really is genuinely astonishing when you lay it all out, that this country remains so consistently misunderstood or maybe just overlooked globally. The sheer scope of historical depth. I mean, being a cradle of urban civilization, housing the world's largest cemetery, you combine that with the absolutely unparalleled natural geography, the world's highest paved border crossing, the greatest concentration of the world's most challenging mountains, having all of that contained within one single national boundary. It really makes its underrated status feel like a massive global oversight that just demands correction.
Yeah, the takeaway, I think, ultimately is that very few nations on Earth could possibly offer such a continuous, dense concentration of both human history, going back to the dawn of cities, and these incredible natural extremes, from the highest peaks to unique deserts and coastlines. It really compels you, doesn't it, to reconsider what we think we know, or maybe what we don't know, about this vital corner of the world.
Absolutely. So as you, our listener, reflect on the countless wonders we've just skimmed the surface of today, we want to leave you with a final provocative thought. This comes from the beloved Pakistani philosopher-poet Allama Iqbal. His words seem to perfectly capture that restless spirit of discovery and the boundless potential for exploration inherent in this extraordinary land. He encourages you, maybe, to look deeper beyond the headlines. He wrote,
Reading quote tone, "Beyond the stars are worlds yet to be explored. Many trials of love remain yet to be enjoyed. This vast expanse is brimming with life's embrace, where countless journeys begin their endless chase."